Fusion has a huge shop and huge. And they're opening another shop that's huge. But tell us about those hard days when you didn't have a whole lot of employees, you sure wasn't owning the city, and you wasn't having no big fireworks show, you're grinding. Talk to us about the grind when it was just you and your man in there. Tell me about that.
7 days a week for about 4 to 5 years, trying to build my business. And when you're building your business, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. As it was many a nights that I had my staff that would let me down, and they would go home at about 6 o'clock, and they come in at 7 in the morning, and I probably finished up about 5 cars on my own. I would leave at 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and I get there at 6 every day, ride home for 30 minutes just so I can lay in bed with my wife because I got a family. I don't want to lose my family. And I'd have to get up after 30 minutes to an hour and get right back to work. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, times that the rent didn't get paid, how we're going to get things done. My wife is like, why are you doing this? You can go somewhere and make 6 figures. You sign up for a lot of pain, but the only way to be successful is how are you going to be forged? Like, I know a lot of places, they hire people and they just give up on them. Maybe he's having a problem with his wife. Maybe he's having a problem with his kids. Maybe someone's family having a problem with drugs. I've learned that as people, we go through problems. And I learned that I forged the people that I got rather than trying to keep remaking. If I can't go any further, then I won't. But I had a lot of dark nights, a lot of bad days, and the team that I got, I knock on wood, and I thank the man upstairs that to this day, we've probably had 3 guys leave since I've been there, and most of them always come back because it's a good place, but I forge them, which is the way I've been forged. Maybe I'm not the nicest guy sometimes, and that's where my wife comes in and tells me to be nicer.
I had something in my throat.
Okay. But she'll tell me to be nicer, but I believe in forging my staff because everything I do is about scale. I figure if I can do 1 car, then I can figure out a way to do 2. If I can do 2, I can figure out a way to do 4. If I can do 4, I can figure out a way to do 8. Everything that I do or every fault that happens, I take fault. Before I talk to a staff member, I never tear them down without giving them a way to, hey, this is how we're going to build each other back up. And I take full fault because without my staff, there's no way I can do 120 to 160 cars a month. Now I'm saying, okay, in the next year, how can I get up to 280 to 300? I need staff. But I make sure instead of me making all the money, maybe I make this much money. Because at some point, anybody in this room, no matter if you have a lot or if you have a little, how much do you really need to be happy? If your staff is happy, I guarantee your life will be happy. So that's what I got.
Well, that was good. So when we start talking about niches, and I'm coming your way, when we start talking about niches, and a niche is just that capturing of your points of differences in a unique way that's palatable to the market, and the market says you're the person for that. Who's your tower dude? You know, who do you go to for that? But you got someone in your life that you go to for a certain thing. When you think of something, you think of someone. And your niche, you become the person who's the identification of that something, right? So this Cesar has 3 locations. But what I love about these 3 locations, I mean, I do like the cars. I ain't lying about that part. I love them. But what I like about them, it's not like a car barn over here, a car barn over here, and a car barn over here. It's not simply that we don't have enough space, so we needed another space. It's, you know what? We need to focus this niche in its own space. And we need to focus this niche in its own space. And we need to focus this niche in its own space. And there are 3 of the performance guys that are raising their hands and all that kind of stuff. Can you talk about Alta Performance Group and just focus on that segment and tell us how you lean on your guys, how you trust your guys, and tell us some of the stuff that you work on over there.
Well, I know these guys for 5-6 years, and we were neighbors on the shops that we had. I have my own shop. They got their own shop. And all of my cars, they were going straight to them. And once we opened, when we opened Alta Auto Group, I knew we need a service shop, performance shop. So that's when I came to these guys and I proposed them to partner up and do something really cool with my knowledge and their knowledge. He's a really good tuner, Danny right here. I know he's getting a little. But yeah, no, that's how our performance came up. AAG Performance, Alta Auto Group Performance, and they've been awesome. I mean, they work on every car that we have. We sell cars from $10,000 to $500,000 cars, and they work on everyone. They're awesome. Just my best friends.
That's cool.
Willie's World Customs, it came about out of frustration. I came from the exotic car business. I ran a Bentley Lamborghini dealership for 9 years out of Chicago area. Prior to that, I worked in a new car dealership, and that's where I got my start. So I've been in the industry for 33 years. I've been in the Jeep business for 7.5 years. So as Saber mentioned earlier, the preparation, joining the United States Army as a mechanic at 18 years old, didn't know I would come full circle back to Jeep. If you would have told me that was part of the plan, I probably would have dropped out of that plan, right? But preparation is the key for opportunity. There's never been a case that you properly prepared for something and opportunity did not avail itself. I guarantee you, whatever it is that your aspirations are, regardless of what obstacles that you may encounter or any resistance that you may be up against, because I had a lot of it. Trust me, we can be here all day talking about it. But the point is resistance, obstacles, they have their meaning because there's a thing called perseverance. There's a thing called overcoming, right? And so I didn't allow the frustration to stop. I paused, caught my breath, and said, what am I gonna do next? Because I thought I was just going to buy a Jeep, take the top off, doors off, go ride somewhere and get rid of all this frustration. But what I didn't realize is that it really was a gift in disguise. So the name Willie's World came about. Willie's is an acronym, WILLYS. It stands for Will You Serve the World.
Everybody give a hand clap on that.
When I went into the Jeep business, I knew nothing about the Jeep business. So I found the best manufacturers and companies that were in the Jeep business. I got on the plane or jumped in my Jeep and drove to those manufacturers and learned everything I could learn about their products. So we don't offer any suspension components that I haven't personally been to the manufacturer. So we're always learning. Every Monday we have a learning session for an hour. Personal development and product knowledge every single Monday.
Deliverables, determination, drive, discipline, and you are under self-supervision. You gotta supervise yourself. And the other one is, it's your business. So that makes you the owner. It's your business. You know, sometimes they tell me, it's your business. What you want me to do? I'm just an employee. That's when it's really going bad. Something's going down. You the owner. I'm just an employee. You have to own your concept, man. Own your dream. Own it. It's your thing. Own it. And I don't mean by having a business card, your name plaque on the door, beating on your chair, yeah, I own it. No. By ownership, I mean you have to operate with integrity if you own something. You have to operate with integrity as it pertains to that particular product. We charge time and materials at my shop. Time and materials, time and materials. Think about how you charge. You can always cut a corner if you just want to cut a corner. But integrity, it just has a way of rising. It has a way. You can smell that thing when the integrity ain't there. And when that becomes a part of your brand loses the integrity, it's going to ultimately affect your bottom. It's going to affect your bottom line. So integrity is huge. Now, what is integrity? Doing the right thing when what?
Nobody's watching.
Nobody. Ooh, boy, y'all saw my nose. It's all right, though. Yeah, doing the right thing when nobody's watching. The other thing about integrity and ownership, if you own it, you have to be what? Reliable. They get paychecks every Friday. Every Friday. Because I know if they don't, they ain't going to come back on Saturday or Monday. You know, it's just certain things you have to be reliable on. How would you feel if you go to work and the lights were off? Anybody over there? I might have had that happen before, but I'm just saying, anybody, I'm just trying to see if anybody else had that happen, but wouldn't that be strange? You go to work and the lights aren't on. It just kind of feels funny, right? And you don't even think about the lights being on because you're relying on this business to be what? Reliable. People start a job. Oh, I got a new job. New job. Real quick story, and then I'm gonna let you have one or two questions. Y'all got time for one more quick story? Hey, this guy called me, Rick, and he say, hey, man, I want to work for you. Man, I'm so excited. I like what you're doing. You have cool products. I like your shop. I'm in Florida. I want to work for you. I said, oh, yeah? Yeah, man, I want to work for you. I said, man, I might hire you over the telephone. Would you really do that? Because I need a job, sir. I will be there Monday morning. Toolbox will be on your truck. I said, hey, man, I'll hire you over the phone. It's okay. Well, I said, how much you want to make? X. Man, I'm going to pay you that. Ain't no problem. I'm going to pay you. I'm excited to have it. Now, what you say you can do again? Okay. And what else? Okay, no problem. Okay, I'm going to hire you. I expect for you to be here. I'm excited. So he came in. I said, man, hey, meet the crew, meet the team. This is our new guy. He said he can do this. If he can't, I'm going to fire him. He worked Monday. You know the story, don't you? He worked Tuesday. Wednesday came. He done messed up. Can't put a front runner on. Oh, no. So then Thursday come, a truck came in. The brakes was locked up. Brakes was what?
Locked up.
Well, you know, it's hard to get that truck off and it's locked up. So guess how many people you need? Yeah. Everybody. Me too. Because I what? Own it. So we all out there pushing. He said, I want to go to lunch. I said, you better tell him I wouldn't go if I was him. Everybody pushing. Man, I'm hungry. Okay. We pushing. We pushing this truck off. Man, we tired, back hurt. You know, we tired, man, trying to get this truck off, you know. He went to lunch. I said, when he come back, you tell him to pack up his stuff and get up out of my shop. This is serious. This is your business, man. This is your dream. You don't owe nobody nothing but you. This your thing. This your shot. You the one been working on this all of your life. This is your thing. And sometimes you got to make that tough choice. Now, if we're having a great class right now, when I say you got to make that tough choice, at least one person in here ought to know what I'm talking about for you. If we having class, if we helping you, right now, you should know what that tough choice might be. See, that's how you shoot your shot. Sometimes you got to make that tough choice. What is it? That tough choice sometimes is the difference between success and what?
Failure.
And failure. Hey, give yourself a round of applause.